please, for the love, make it make sense. If you ever listen to one thing I say in my entire life, I implore that you please make it this. I do not want to take anyone's alcohol choices away. I simply want to advocate for the truth that is not readily out there. Okay, DEA did a press release that in 2022, drug deaths accounted for just shy of 108,000 deaths. That is awful. However, in the same year alone, you think all drugs, all of them, every single one out there, compared to alcohol, one. Alcohol killed 178,000. That's more. In the drug-related deaths that the DEA press release announced, 70% of those were from fentanyl. 30%, making it to a whole 100%, were listed as meth or other synthetic stimulants. Do you know what you do not hear on that list? You hear zero mention of deaths related to hemp, to cannabis, to marijuana, to weed, whatever you want to call it. Zero. Yet right now, in almost a lot of our states, our legislators are passing laws, trying to pass laws that we didn't even really get to talk about or discuss or vote on because they didn't talk about these when they were up for election last year. But as soon as they got elected, now they're pushing them through. Passing laws to ban hemp, D9, federally legal drinks from the 2018 Farm Bill. These are federally legal, folks. Our states are trying to come in and take that away. Why, you may ask? Well, they say it's for the children's safety. Is it for the children's safety, or is that just a convenient scapegoat we're going to use? Because you're spending time and resources right now banning drinks that are federally legal in your state for the children, yet that tax revenue goes towards early education for children. So that's one way it's taking it away. But the studies are showing alcohol is worse for children. Why is the focus on hemp and cannabis and this being wrong? Now you may say illegal activity. Okay, well, since we've been legalizing marijuana and cannabis in other states, do you know that drug seizures have actually went down at the southern border? That's right. Looked it up for you. In 2023, the marijuana seizures at the southern border had fallen to the lowest level, a 98% decline since 2013. Because it's not needed to come in. We don't have to go to the black market. We don't have to have a legal drug trade when it's made legal and optional for us. So why would they say it's for the children? Why would they try to ban it? I cannot stress this enough, folks. I'm not some woohoo, I want to smoke cannabis, I want to do this, I want to do that. That isn't the main goal here. What this has opened my eyes to is the way the alcohol industry is using us and using our children as scapegoats. They're paying off the politicians to do so, and here's what they're really covering up. 178,000 deaths last year alone. That's more than all drugs combined. That's a 30% increase in alcohol-related deaths since 2016 or 2017. We now know alcohol is related to 7 cancers. Are we also seeing cancer rates go up? 1 in 8 U.S. deaths between the age of 20 to 64. 1 in 8 attributable to excessive drinking. In 2022, over 3 million U.S. adults and teenagers self-reported alcohol abuse disorder. 753,000 of those being between the ages of 12 and 17. Yeah. 250,000 children between the age of 12 to 17 are self-reporting alcohol abuse disorder. What does that mean for how many more are out there? It attributes to just shy of 5,000 underage deaths every year. That is drinking and driving. That's drinking too much. It's statistically related. These are facts that are on the government's website. You have to dig for them. You have to specifically be looking for the relationship and the tie, but it's all out there. They just don't want us to tie it together, and they're waving this flashy hand of hemp and cannabis to keep you away from what's going over here. I also want to talk about how they're marketing towards our youth. Marketing to your children. If an product is showing that it is killing its customer base, how do they stay wealthy? How do they stay in business? It's simple marketing. You've got to fill the top of the funnel. So they are marketing to your children. No, you may say? No, they're self-regulated. Oh, yeah. Hemp and cannabis, marijuana, whatever you want to call it, very, very strict marketing rules. Probably some of the strictest of where they can advertise, what they can show, what they can do. So they're already more regulated than alcohol is, yet we're still saying they're the problem. But alcohol, which is shown to be more destructive, is going with very little regulation, and they are marketing to your children. There is an entire department at Boston University that does a Center of Alcohol Marketing toward Youth that can break all these statistics down. But they are showing that they are receiving over 15 billion ads on cable TV and children programming. The exact places that alcohol self-reported they would not advertise to. So they made their own regulations, and they're not following their own regulations because they need to keep that funnel going. Why would they keep the funnel going? Because it is a trillion dollar industry, you guys. I looked it up for 2023. Alcohol will be a $2.3 trillion industry. An industry that is killing us. And granted, I loved my wine too. I do. I now see it for what it is. I don't care if you drink. That is your choice. I just want you to know what's happening behind the scenes. $2.3 trillion. A Georgia State economic professor, just had an interest. He has no skin in the game either way. He showed that anywhere marijuana is legalized, we see an average of a 13% drop in revenue for alcohol. 13%. That was in 2019. That's before the hemp beverages that they're now suddenly, with no voter input, trying to ban in our states, even affected alcohol. And the math on that, 13% of their industry annually is conservatively $300 billion a year before hemp drinks even came on the scene. Forbes has done research. Off the top of my head, Gen Z, these are the stats off the top of my head. I can follow them up. The latest report was only 50% of them reported drinking in the last 30 or 90 days. The next generation is not drinking. Hemp beverages are impacting alcohol sales. Alcohol sales kill us. The hemp drinks came in, yes, through a loophole in the 2018 Farm Bill, but that is what it is. That is not your fault. That is not my fault. That is not their fault. But here's the problem. These small businesses have the potential to be the next Anheuser-Busch of our generation. It has the potential to make billionaires. But that means that the alcohol billionaires now, they would crumble. You would still be able to go buy your alcoholic drinks. They would not be going away. But their power, their massive estates, their hold on everything, it would crumble just by the way society is changing. They need to stop that to stay in power and stay rich. So they're doing it by telling you that these decisions are for the children. They're doing it by cutting these small business owners off at the knees. They're doing it by the federal glitter over here that it's going to get rescheduled to a Schedule 3. Guess what? That is not the hemp drinks. That is not what they're banning in your state. These are two separate topics. So if you're over here thinking, oh, great, it's going to be Schedule 3. Meanwhile, your state, alcohol is determined state by state what they allow. So where do you think they're lobbying and paying pockets to ban the hemp drinks? They're doing it within your states. And they're telling you it's to protect the children. Yet they're taking away a product that is being shown as an alternative to furthermore push their product, which is shown to kill us at higher rates and damage our youth more, amongst higher risk of sexual assault, amidst higher risk of fighting, high risk sexual activity. Their drug is shown to be worse to us, but they cannot take that revenue loss. They cannot. And instead of letting small businesses a chance and average Americans a healthier, albeit different alternative, there's still a lot of studies that have to be done, and trying to take away the revenue of this arena, the revenue that in Louisiana goes towards early childhood education, quite a bit of it. They're telling you it's to save your children. I think there's a lot more energy and resources that our states should be using to protect our children. So if you don't think that this issue applies to you because you don't like hemp or cannabis, then you don't fucking like your children either. I'm sorry to be blunt, but it's not about hemp, cannabis, Delta 9 drinks. It's not. I don't want these companies marketing to my children. I don't want my children growing up in a world that alcohol is glamorized when it kills. I know my cousins died from drinking and driving at 18. I've been around it. It doesn't make sense. But when you look through the eyes of corruption and what our government truly wants for us, it makes sense. If you care about your children, you care about small business, you care about an equal playing field. I'm not anti-capitalism. I'm anti-fair capitalism. And I want what's good for a human body, and I want what's good for my children. Make it make sense.